Hey guys, welcome to United. Welcome to another video. And Lionel Messi is our new Ballon d'Or winner. He was awarded this trophy, you might call it, by France Football, the French newspaper article. And it's been going on for a while, you guys know. Messi was at 5 recently, tied with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's beat him with his 6th Ballon d'Or in this year's edition. Other things to talk about, like the women's Ballon d'Or, the feminine Ballon d'Or was given to Megan Rapinoe for her outstanding year with Reign FC and with the U.S. women's national team. Very good performances from Megan. I'm not gonna say much about it because I haven't seen enough of women's football to make an educated assumption of how the season went. But I saw part of the World Cup, and she was very good at it. The Copa Trophy for the youngest under 21 player was given to Matthijs de Ligt. I completely agree. He had the best year for the under 21s. It was handed by him by Kylian Mbappe, and he was outstanding, reaching the Champions League semi-final by being just solid in the Eredivisie in every single competition, captaining his team. Now at Juventus, had a shaky start, but it seems like he's gonna be picking it up very soon. And the Yashin Trophy, the first of this year's edition for the trophy to award the best goalkeeper of the season, was given to Alisson Becker. At second was Ter Stegen, and at third was Ederson. You guys know my opinion on who is the best goalkeeper in the world. For me, it's supposed to be Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, but anyways, we know how heavy the Champions League involves in this kind of trophy, and that's something that I want to discuss now going forward. But Messi has won the Champions League title, and it's more of a title more than a trophy because it surely gets a lot more merit than a trophy. Like, you don't hear the John Gamper Trophy getting, this kind of awards, but the Ballon d'Or, it's very important. It was an interesting race. I was very convinced that Van Dijk was gonna win the Ballon d'Or because in the best, the reporters, the journalists voted for Van Dijk, and that's why I thought that Van Dijk was gonna win it. I was wrong, and thankfully I was wrong because Lionel Messi was the best player of 2019. It's still 2019. He's been the best player of 2019 without a shadow of a doubt. He's been unbelievable, and I'm gonna talk about Van Dijk, Cristiano Ronaldo, and other players. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna talk about it soon. But what Messi does, what Messi contributes to his team, it's nothing but fantastic. And something you have to think about is that your team, if you're saying that Messi shouldn't win the Ballon d'Or because Van Dijk won the Champions League, or because Salah won the Champions League, or Mane won the Champions League, then let me tell you something. Would Van Dijk be in the run do you think it's okay for Van Dijk to not be in the run for the Ballon d'Or if he was still playing for Southampton? My opinion, if he performed at the same level with Southampton this season as he did this year, he should still be in the run for the Ballon d'Or and still be nominated as one of the best players in the world. And sadly, that's not how it works, because the thing is, we give trophies too much of an importance at the moment of determining. You can use trophies to determine a team's collective success and how good a team works and what is a better team, who is a better team. Trophies are for that because they are the measure of the collective. They are a reward that's given mostly to the best team in that competition. Mostly because you guys know that there is luck involved always in football, and especially in knockout competitions like the Champions League. well, weird things can happen. But other than that, it's important that this Ballon d'Or was given to Messi because for the longest time, and I believe that this is a reason, and I don't know if you guys have thought about it, but it's a big reason that we've been seeing a very decaying Barcelona. Because yes, they've been lied to in the belief that, hey, you lose in the Champions League, or Madrid has been winning all these Champions League because they forget about the league, they forget about the Copa del Rey, and they only focus in one competition for the most part, and that doing that will allow you to give you maximum possibilities to win the Champions League. And that's just simply not true. It's not true because, well, we saw last year, we rested 8 players, I believe it was against Celta, before we played the return leg against Liverpool, where we came with a 3-0, and Liverpool had to suffer to beat Newcastle 2-1. I believe so. They had to suffer with their full starters of just a few days. I think they had 1 day less to rest, and they still came and dominated us in intensity, in physical condition. And it's not because our players were beat up, it's just because our mentality was wrong. Liverpool's mentality was competing the whole season at their full strength, going to maximum level. We were just thinking from the start to rest energy, to wait for February, to wait for March, to wait for April, and then we'll give maximum level of intensity. Problem is that the mentality wasn't there. And this is very important to give the prizes to the player that deserves it the most. And Messi, I believe, deserves it the most because he's been the most determining player for his team. And if you don't believe me, think about everything else. Do you think Barcelona would have won this La Liga title without Lionel Messi? I don't think so. Do you think Barcelona would have been anywhere near what they did this season or last season without Lionel Messi? I don't think so. Now in comparison, do you think that Liverpool would have not challenged for the Premier League title and would have not challenged for the Champions League trophy without Virgil van Dijk? And I'm not demeriting Virgil van Dijk, but I'm just saying he's a very important player for them, but Virgil van Dijk is not Liverpool. Liverpool is the sum of his parts, and when you have a sum of parts that is as great as those Liverpool players are, that work under a fantastic manager like his Jurgen Klopp, then you have the best team in the world last season. Same thing goes with Manchester City. Manchester City, you take players out of them, and until the motivation starts to fail, you won't see anything wrong because they can just keep replacing players and they'll be fine. Same thing with Liverpool. If you add Koulibaly instead of Van Dijk, I'm sure that they'll be fine. If you add Skriniar instead of Van Dijk, I'm sure they'll be fine. Like Van Dijk, we've seen it this season. For me, Van Dijk is not being the best defender since the start of the Premier League for Liverpool. It's been Matip, and no one is mentioning this. I think that Liverpool fans would agree with me that Matip at least has been giving Van Dijk a run for his money this season. Therefore, and the same thing with Juventus. Juventus, if anything, got worse results this season with Ronaldo than without him. In the Champions League, in the Coppa Italia, even in Serie A, where they were as dominant that they normally reached those 90 points easy. I believe they reached 85 points last season. Ronaldo just, I don't know where his nomination for the third best player in the world came. Like, you're forgetting about Salah, Mbappe, De Ligt, Frenkie de Jong is number 11. What the hell is he doing there? Ter Stegen is 24th, while Alisson Becker is 7th. I'm not saying that Ter Stegen should be 7th or something, but like, if you're gonna put Alisson at 7 and Ter Stegen at 24, then that doesn't make much sense to me because there's not. If for me Ter Stegen is better, but if Alisson happens to be better than Ter Stegen, it's not by that much difference. Anyways, it's important to reward, like I'm going to continue saying what I was saying, it's important to reward the best players in every competition, because if you reward them by only winning the Champions League, and you tell them, because if you tell them that as long as you win the World Cup, the Euros, the Champions League that season, as long as you do that, you'll be getting the Champions League, then that doesn't make much sense to me because, well, The Champions League is only a part of the season, and it's a small part of the season at that. The cups, the leagues, they involve most of the calendar year competition. Do you really want to see football where the teams are only where you're only seeing good intensity football in one competition like the Champions League, and seeing dreadful football like we've been seeing from Barcelona in La Liga for the past 2 or 3 seasons? I don't think we want that. I think what we all want is to see maximum level in every single game, in every single minute possible, and that's what Messi's been able to give us. Messi is not only the best player in every single game for the most part, but the player with the most consistency throughout the season. That's why he deserves a Ballon d'Or every single year. And it's important that at the end of his career, Messi is far and apart from everyone else, because he is the best player ever, and therefore those trophies should reflect that. If they don't reflect that, then you have cheated football. You are insulting football. That's why, in my opinion, Messi should have by now 9 to 10 Ballon d'Ors, and that's not taking credit from Cristiano Ronaldo, from Modric, fantastic players. Ronaldo, if he was in an era without Messi, sure, he would have about 10 Ballon d'Ors right now. And Modric, straight up, I don't know how he got his Ballon d'Or still, but like I said, collective titles don't make much sense to me. To give individual awards to reward individuality, because at the end of the day, football is a sport of 11, and if you're the most determining player in your team, doesn't matter if you're in Barcelona or if you're in a team fighting for relegation, if you have the best season, if you only put the numbers, if you have the importance in your team, then that's something that you need to consider as well. Also, for the last part, saying that it was very nice to see that presentation that Drogba did for Messi, his discussion about how Messi said that he knows that the end of his career is going to come eventually, that he's at the latter stage of his career. It's important that he's recognized it. I hope that he started thinking about it, because I'm not saying that he needs to go to the bench or anything, but he needs to be convinced that just like he's approaching the latter stage of his career, players like Piqué, Suarez, Rakitic, Alba, they're also in that stage. Therefore, let's facilitate the team to let us play the youngsters instead of having to play you guys 100% of the season pretty much. But anyway, that's going to be a topic for another video. Again, congratulations, Lionel Messi, for another Ballon d'Or. We're all said and done. Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Who do you think should have won the Ballon d'Or? What do you think about Messi's year? How do you think it should have gone? And leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Blaugranas.